Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Oral Communication Presentations. I'm Professor Mike, as you know. Anyways, today I want to do kind of a mini vlog, I guess. I want to give you some tips on making a presentation in English, especially when English isn't your native language. I've received a lot of amazing presentations over the past few weeks. I'm really impressed by all of your hard work. I mean, you guys have really floored me. Okay, to floor someone is to really impress somebody. Maybe that's like a Canadian slang, but nevertheless, it's really valid here in this case. You guys are absolutely amazing. The other thing is that I'm really I find that the essays or whatever you call them, the summary of your impressions and your feelings and everything about making a video presentation is really interesting for me. And I keep seeing not the same thing, but I see a few things that many of you actually seem to have in common. Is that number one, you find it very weird speaking to a camera, or at least to a camera lens, especially when you don't have an audience. Okay, yeah, and believe me, I know that myself. I've done, I've been doing this video for a long time. I do actually have another YouTube channel where I do a lot of like traveling and vlogging and whatnot. And I basically walk around cities. Here I am in Skopje, Macedonia, talking about there was an earthquake actually the day before I made this vlog, and there were a lot of earthquakes in the Balkans regions and so forth. But anyways, yeah, in this case, I was talking to a camera, and a lot of the people walking around were, staring at me like I'm some kind of crazy idiot. I've done vlogs even in Bratislava, walking around the castle, talking about all kinds of stuff, and all I can say really is it just gets easier and easier, and try not to be shy about looking at yourself on camera and seeing your face. So yeah, so going back to the first real fear that you guys have, and that I also really know about, is like actually just talking to a camera, and it feels like you're just talking to yourself. The second thing that you guys often wrote about is that it's very difficult for you, and very strange as well, presenting in English, like in a different language, or at least in a language that's not your native language. Believe me, this is something that's not easy to do. You guys saw that video that I made or I made about a year and a half ago. Well, actually, I didn't make it. It was done by Hospodárske noviny. Okay, so there's me, like, trying to talk in Slovak. Like, I didn't have any script or anything to go on in this. I had these guys. I had all these cameras around. Well, one camera, let's say, but. It was extremely intimidating. I didn't have any practice at all. Okay, so having said that, then I'd really like to give you some of my tips on how to make a better presentation in English. Especially when English isn't your first language. Okay, so tip number one is to be absolutely prepared. Okay, you have to be thoroughly prepared to do this, even before you get on camera. Now, in these video lectures, I haven't been doing, in fact, I don't do all that much preparation. I'm basically converting all my lectures that I've done in the classroom and trying to put them onto video. But I'm doing it in English, and that's my native tongue. Okay, so for me, actually, I have a lot of freedom where I don't actually have to worry about, whether I'm going to make a mistake in my English or not. I'm not worried about my accent or anything like that. So I can just go and, what I want to say is that there is also a lot of room for me to improvise things, okay? So I don't have that added stress that you guys have when you guys are doing the presentation in English, okay? Because you want your presentation to be as great as possible, okay? But listen, your main goal should not be perfection, okay? I've got a few things written down here. Okay, you need to go for clarity, okay? So be as clear as possible. You want something called ease, simplicity, okay? So that it's not too difficult for the person who is watching your video to understand what you are saying. And the third thing is that you want confidence, okay? So don't put the confidence so much into the English part of your presentation, but put your confidence into, the presentation itself, the topic, okay? Because you're the scientist, your work is valuable, okay? So, stand by, just keep in mind that this presentation is not about, somebody who's going to be checking your English and making comments and that, but rather that your message, okay, that what you want to tell the listeners is the important thing, and that you're delivering this message, in an effective, clear, simple way, and that you are confident and you stand behind your results. Okay, the other thing is, in order to be prepared, of course, have all your slides, have, everything that you want to show. That what I want to say has a little bit of controversy, but I think it's an important thing to do, is to write a script, okay? Just write everything in English, okay? In your English, don't use Google Translate, because Google Translate will give you some very strange translations that probably don't have anything to do with your topic or with what you're talking about. However, okay, if you go to the PowerPoint, I'm just going to show you right now. Okay, so if you go to PowerPoint, and if you do decide to do your video in PowerPoint, well, here's a video presentation that I've done before in the past. I've done it in English. You can also see that I've also done it in Slovak. And actually, I'm preparing a video presentation, this video presentation in French as well. Okay, so again, if you go to your slideshow at the top, as I'm clicking right here, okay, you can record your slideshow, and it says record. It asks you where do you want to record from, either current slide or from the beginning. Well, this is the beginning, so if I hit it, okay, and hang on, there we are. There is my face. Let me just set up this camera down around here. Okay. All right, then. So you can see me there. And I've shown you all of this stuff before and everything. But what's really great is that you have something up here called notes, okay? And here I've already written what I want to say in French, okay? So I can actually start. My French is terrible. I used to speak it very fluently a long time ago in Canada, but I've been in Slovakia for so long now that, my Slovak is getting better than my French then. But nevertheless, so, like, if I were to be doing my presentation and if I hit the record button, I can actually read, what I've said in French. Okay, this is my script, okay, so I can go on. I can say, bonjour mes amis, bonjour à tous, bienvenue à ma présentation. Aujourd'hui, j'ai préparé pour vous une présentation sur ma patrie, le Canada. Alors, allons-y. Okay. And I've put in, well, okay, that wasn't the best French, of course. I would need to practice this a few times, okay? But I have my notes right there. And after practicing it, even memorizing au cœur is wonderful thing to do, okay? Because you have it in your brain, and now you can add your emotion and your personality, okay? But this is something that you just can't do once, okay? Once. You have to do it 3, 4, 10 times at least until you start sounding natural, and the audience is not going to and they're not going to think, wow, he's not reading anything. He's speaking very, very fluently. Okay, so the next thing is that a lot of you have written about having an accent, and you don't like listening to your own accent, okay? Now, I've said this before. I don't know if I said it actually in this course, in the presentations, or whether it was writing. Most likely it was in this one, though, because it is oral communication. That having an accent is an advantage, okay? It's a plus. If you have a French accent, a Ukrainian accent, Russian accent, I've heard Hungarian accents in some of the presentations as well, okay? This is a big bonus, okay? People in North America and in the United Kingdom, in fact, everywhere around the world, wherever there are native speakers of English, they love the accent. Having an accent makes you unique, okay? You're exotic. It shows that you're intelligent because you speak a second language, or maybe you speak 3 or 4 or 5 different languages. It's a big bonus, okay? Native speakers, especially North Americans, many North Americans speak only one language, and that's English, okay? There is no real emphasis. I mean, we do learn, of course, like foreign languages in our schools in Canada, as well as the United States. There are many Americans who speak fluent Spanish, fluent French, whatever, other world international languages. But in general, the regular guy on the street has no interest actually in learning a foreign language. Most business in the world and in North America is done in English. English is the lingua franca of the world. This is the language that is most taught as a second language, so that people can communicate amongst each other. So an accent is great, okay? It doesn't mean you're an outsider. It actually means you're like a very interesting, exotic individual, and people want to find out more about you. Okay, the third thing that I recommend you guys doing, okay, is just watch your speed, okay? Speaking slowly is extremely important. I'm speaking slowly now, but when I speak naturally, which is good. I mean, you have to speak naturally, but I'm doing that in English. If I were to be speaking in Slovak, keby som začal teraz po slovensky, takže radšej by som s vami rozprával pomalší, okay? Lebo keď hovorím pomalší alebo pomaly po slovensky, tak ja mám pocit, že vy mi rozumiete každé slovo, ale nie každé druhé slovo, ale presne, že každé slovo, že proste rozumiete, o čom hovorím, o čom je prezentácia a tak ďalej. A takže aj pauzy, okay? So make pauses, okay? Takže keď hovorím Okay, sem tam si dávam pauzu, tak je to lepšie. Lebo vy rozmýšľate teraz, že OK, no on má pravdu, OK, to je bezva, to je úplne super, ten profesor Mike je najinteligentnejší. Yeah. I'm not going to speak in Slovak. I'm starting to develop an ego. So anyways, speak slowly, okay? Try not to go too quickly because, otherwise you will start mixing words together and they may not sound, your message may not come across clearly and concisely. Also, try not to worry too much about the grammar. I mean, of course, grammar is extremely important, okay? But if you have problems with like the third conditional, okay, or the past perfect, don't even go there, okay? Just use the grammar that you know. And also keep everything simple, okay? So that means you have to choose your vocabulary very, very carefully. If you're choosing or if you have words that are very long, okay, very difficult to pronounce, try to find a different word, okay? An easier word, okay? Substitute, make everything as simple as possible, okay? Because your presentation is not about, as I said, it's not about your English language skills, which of course, are always helpful, but you're trying to deliver a message about your research topic, okay? And you definitely want the listener to, or the viewer, whoever's watching your presentation, to understand, exactly what you're talking about. Also, don't use acronyms, okay? Or even speak in acronyms, okay? Like, don't say ETC, okay? I've heard that before. Somebody was saying this, and etc. And I was like, what is etc? And they were like, oh, etc., okay? So again, be careful about any acronyms, okay? Say the entire word, okay? Don't say km2, okay, or km2. Say squared kilometers or kilometers squared, okay? So acronyms, no. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Okay, this is kind of a short video. Actually, I didn't even upload the video last week. I got so busy watching all the presentations that have been sent to me, and I'm really, really, really impressed by them. So, if you still haven't done your presentation, as I said, just try to get it, to me by December 15th. Or December 18th, okay, which is the very, very last day of our classes, okay? Also, the next thing, or the next piece of information that I want to give is that, is it this week? Yeah, I'm here next week, okay? But next week is just going to be kind of consultation. I'm going to try and get this video of Canada in 3 languages up for you guys. I don't know why, but I think it's only fair if you guys are making a presentation that I should make a presentation too, because I'm a teacher. I need to practice this stuff too. So I can't just go and talk about how to make a presentation and then not even make a video presentation either. So this is what I'm going to do next week as well. So also, the other thing is about ICE, like AIS, the Academic Information System. Okay, so I'm not really too sure when it opens and when I can put your marks in this year, or for this semester. But I do have a feeling it will open like around December 15th or December 16th. So I'll try to enter your mark around that time, okay? But, okay, I need to really be clear that sometimes I forget, okay, or I miss somebody, and if you don't check your academic information system profile, I really have no idea if whether I gave you a mark or not. Okay, so the reason I'm telling you this is that the AIS Academic Information System, it closes usually the last day of January. So if you don't see a mark from professional oral communication, send me an email, okay? And that way I can put your mark in. Because if you tell me this after it closes, it's not a big problem, but it means that I have to actually go to the Studina, and sometimes I even have to take the student with me to the Studina, and then we have to talk to Mrs. Bensova and somebody there. And it just takes time, and it's just easier if you remind me before it closes. I can put the mark in, and it just saves me a trip going up to the office and having to do it there. So, okay, you guys take care. Okay, thank you for everything. I've really enjoyed this course. There will be a couple more videos, as I said, the Canada presentation. And I'm also going to put one more video reviewing the whole course as well. So stay tuned, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.